Okay, so I wanted to just dive in and give my impressions. I've been using LumaFusion for quite some time now, a good few months. My goal was to see if I can commit entirely to the iPad, and the answer, spoiler alert, is yes and no, so not very useful. And I'll explain to you why. LumaFusion are attempting to go as pro as they possibly can, and they're almost there. The problem is LumaFusion does crash a lot. It saves your work, but it crashes on me all the time, which is quite frustrating. But you know, LumaFusion has got stuff like you can do preset effects, and that kind of goes across the board. Anything that you can control within LumaFusion, you can create a preset and recreate that in other projects. It has a lot of pro features. You can speed up and slow down stuff which you can't do in Adobe Rush at all. You can't do any sort of speed ramping at all in Adobe Rush. The size and positioning, you've got fit mode, you can crop it, and all of this you can create like a crop point. So if you want to, on this video, you want it full size over here, but then at this point you want to crop the left. Now there it creates a crop effect, so you go from here, play the video, and it'll crop up to that point. So you've got that kind of stuff you definitely don't have in Adobe Rush. That is very powerful stuff, and very useful. It has a lot of audio controls. Again, you can create these reference points. So if I want the volume to be full here, set that reference point, go further in the video. At this point I want it to be there, and you can see at the bottom here it's starting to create a timeline of where those points are going. Now I want it to be very loud, and you can do that throughout. It's just very, very powerful. So from that standpoint, LumaFusion is phenomenal. The other great thing is LumaFusion allows you to do LUTs. So what I generally do is, let's disable, I don't know why the LUT is here, but so I'll disable the LUTs. I do a color and exposure correction. I'm still kind of trying to figure out this, whoops, what did I do there? This line thing, I saw someone explain how these lines work. I think this is your exposure, your brightness, and then this is your contrast. Anyway, so that's how that works, I think. So that's pretty good, but it's very difficult to control. It's a lot like iMovie. I don't like that about it. Also, the way it handles highlights is very weird. If I push it too much, look how the video goes all strange. So this part of it I don't particularly like, but what I generally do is, let's just delete it and show you how I go. Do original. Sorry, just quickly do this. What I generally do, disable the LUT, is I check the overall brightness, and then I either add contrast, or it's got what's called gamma, which actually seems to be black point. So anyway, we can add a bit of contrast. So there already, it's looking good. And then over here, I've got one of Maria Puya's LUTs going here, and set it to 56%. So that's really nice. You can't do that in Adobe Rush. Adobe Rush has some other stuff, and I'll show you now, but it doesn't have that level. And you've got a lot of other features here. I mean, it's just crazy. I use this quite a bit. You can add sharpness, you can add like motion blurs and stuff, which is nice if you're creating your own transitions. That's a video for another day. You can do keyframing, another thing that you definitely can't do in Adobe Rush. All of this to say these features are great, but they are still a little bit like honky. Is that a word? So they, look, you've got your mixer on the left here. There's a lot of pro features, but it's there but not there, if that makes sense. So I love the fact that it's on my tablets. I'm currently sitting in my car making this video. I'm just doing a screen recording, but I could be editing a video in my car. So I love that about it. But the more I do this, the more I think, if you are someone who's already in the Adobe universe, maybe you're using Lightroom and you're already paying for that, you're a professional, you're making money from it, it makes sense for me to pay the monthly fee and do the Adobe Rush thing. And here's why. So let me quick just go back and say, if you are someone who's iPad only, you don't want to spend a monthly fee and you want to do a once-off payment, LumaFusion is definitely the way to go. But if you are a professional and you want a like sort of epic workflow, and I'm all about workflow, I think Adobe Rush might be the way to go. It's simpler. So for my vlogs and my daily videos, I'm at now gone to daily vlogging and daily videos. This is the way to go for me because I can do super fast editing. My camera, my Fujifilm X-H1 has incredible color already out the box. Out the camera. Okay, sorry, this is a terrible video, but just it's from my vlog the other day. But to give you let's quickly go through it and why I think this is great for professionals who have an iPad and wants to use the iPad for that convenience. Like if I'm traveling, maybe I get back to the Airbnb at night and I want to do some editing. I don't have my laptop on me, or it's just not convenient. I'm sitting at the kitchen table or whatever with some friends. I can now go put all the video on my iPad, bring it into the timeline and start cutting. So I can start editing away and chopping it where I need it chopped. So that's great already. Let's go. There's a clone feature here. Place to see the audio, and you can do some nice editing on the audio. So let's go through it. So LumaFusion has got epic color control. It's got epic control over how the video looks at different stages. You can change the audio to go up and down and add compression and reduce compression. This is just as you go. So you can set it as you generally need it, import it to your desktop and finish it off, especially if it's a corporate video and you want to just add that bit of finesse. Desktop for me, after using LumaFusion for a few months, is still the way to go. Alright, so the titles on this are actually really cool, and you can go into the Adobe stock. So titles on this are straight out the bat better than LumaFusion, so that's a plus. So you've got cross dissolve, you've got dip to black, you've got dip to white, so very limited, and then you can add the duration, so super limited. Color is, although it's limited, it's also really nice. Their presets are just a lot better thought out than the old presets of Lightroom and that, the mobile Lightroom. It's just really nice. So if you look here, they've got a ugly mug. They've got a Fuji preset, which obviously I like. There's a Kodak preset, gives it a slightly warmer, summery feel. Let's increase the intensity. So that's pretty cool. And then the editing I just prefer. It's more familiar because it's similar to Lightroom. LumaFusion is just weird the way it handles highlights and all that kind of thing. This, if I push the highlights, it just looks more natural. So overall, this again is a win for Adobe Rush. The audio, I know I'm repeating myself, but again, the audio is, you can't set change points, go up here, go down here. You can't set those points, but overall it's got some really nice features. So that's really nice. I really like it. It's simple, but it's exactly what I need for every single edit, for a vlog, or even for a corporate video, to get it chopped up and done with the basics, and then I can import it into Premiere Pro quite nicely, and then do my transitions if I want any fancy transitions, do a color grade if I want to do a color grade and all that. But this gets me started. You've got basic cropping features, again not as good as LumaFusion. There we go, cropping. So you can use those. I mean, that's there for you to use. Just to go over it, LumaFusion is nearly there as a pro editor, but it isn't there, if that makes sense. So one day maybe I'll change my tune, but by then I think Adobe might have caught up. Let's see how it goes, because Adobe also wants you to buy the big daddy version of their subscription service, so that you use Premiere Pro. So it's interesting. I think for the guys out there who have spent a lot of money on a nice iPad or even a cheaper iPad, LumaFusion is by far the most comprehensive solution for editing video on the iPad. But if you are a professional and you want a cutting room basically, and then move over to your desktop, Adobe Rush is it's better than iMovie, and it is just phenomenal.